Hey, hello, greetings everyone. We're back again, and today I'm gonna rank the entire discography of one of my favorite bands, Opeth. They might just be my second favorite band of all. Might just be. I don't know. Uh, anyway, let's go to my least favorite album from theirs, In Cauda Venenum, their most recent one. So it's really I cannot put my finger where this album misses it for me, or where this album gets it right. I really like the Swedish version, is the one I listened to. So, well, actually, forget I said that. I don't really like. I just prefer listening to the Swedish version. I think it's just the album was written originally in Swedish, so this is the correct way to listen to it. I won't even. I might try to pronounce some of the titles. Livet Stradgard, Svekets Prince is the second song. I think the second and the third songs are actually my favorite ones. Maybe Svekets Prince, and He Har Tat Vet Vod Handen Go. I think that's how we pronounce that. Sorry. And then there are the songs that have weird names, I can't pronounce them. Later on the album we have Banemanen and Continuerlich Drift. Well, I think those songs I just titled they're the ones I prefer. This album here, I'd say, is the most average album ever. Like, this is a pure number 7, and that's just it. So yeah, not bad, but also not really my type of music. Actually, this is my type of music. What am I saying? It's not bad, but also at the same time I can't really know why I don't like this album. Whatever. Let's go to the next one. Watershed. Yeah, Watershed is at the very bottom of my list. Not because I don't like it, because, well, it's a really good album. I really like this album, actually. So Watershed is their, let's say, technical death metal album. This album here has that sound very obviously being inspired by technical death. So it's an interesting release from theirs. I'm considering the special edition, which has, I believe, 3 more songs than the normal one. So Kyle, really calm song, really good introduction to the album. Then we have Her Apparent, The Lotus Eater, Burden. These 3 might just be my favorite songs from this album. Then we have Porcelain Heart, Hessian Pio, Hex Omega, and then the bonus songs Derelict Herds, Bridge of Sighs, then Standiga Hessan. That's Swedish for you, brother. So yeah, this album, if you're really into that technical death metal, if you want to listen to their, well, supposedly heaviest release, listen to Watershed. It's a good album. I like it, but it's not the one I consider their heaviest. I'll be talking about that release later on. So let's just talk about the next album up on this list, which is Orchid. Yeah, their debut, black metal fused with progressive death metal. I think. No, sorry. I think, well, first of all, this artwork is beautiful. Look at it. It's just some orchids, because the title of the album is Orchid. Look at that. So I think this album is an amazing debut. I saw a lot of people complaining, saying that this is completely, even Mikhail Akerfeld, basically he's Opeth. Without Mikhail, there's no Opeth. I'm sorry, but he's just the soul of the band. So even him, even the singer, main guitarist, he doesn't like this album. But in my opinion, this is an amazing debut. In mist she was standing under the weeping moon. Silhouette really, I really find Silhouette interesting, because there's a song on a later album, I'll be talking about that when I get to that album, that's really similar to this one, but on a completely different take. So we'll get to that. 1st of October. The Twilight is my robe, Requiem, the Apostle in Triumph, and I'm considering the bonus demo as well, Into the Frost of Winter. So man, what an amazing debut this is. All the songs are really long with the exception of Silhouette and Requiem. Silhouette is just 3 minutes, Requiem is 1. All the other songs are really long, and I really like this type of music, longer songs, longer stretches of music. I would say my favorite songs from this album would be In Mist, She Was Standing, and Under the Weeping Moon, and also the demo, Into the Frost of Winter. I think Into the Frost of Winter is really good actually, what an amazing demo that is. So, well, that's Orchid. I think Orchid is a good album. If you think differently, you're wrong. So let's move on to the next one, which might cause some controversy. Still Life, that's right. Still Life. Why is Still Life so low? This is their best album, you might be saying, but I don't think so. I think Still Life is a really good, let's say, prelude to Blackwater Park. And I like some of the songs here a lot actually. The more great opening track, Godhead's Lament, really good. My favorite song from this album is Benighted. Interesting because my favorite song from this album is the acoustic, relaxing, not heavy at all one. That's right, Benighted is my favorite song from this album. Then we have Molapse, Vertigo, Face of Melinda, Serenity Painted Death, which I'm gonna be honest, Serenity Painted Death sounds more like a new metal song than a death metal song. Yeah, that's right, you heard me. I'm calling Opeth a new metal band before new metal even existed. Oh boy. Then we have White Cluster. Honestly, if you were to remove White Cluster completely, my opinion about this album would remain exactly the same. That's how, let's say, unimportant White Cluster is to the whole thing. And that song is 10 minutes long, so man, what an interesting song. It's not bad, but I don't think it makes any difference whatsoever. And look at this artwork, it's just beautiful. I really like the remastered artwork. So yeah, some people think this album is, some people have the opinion that this album is their best. I can sort of see why, but I disagree. So yeah, that's where I stand on this one. Next up we have Damnation. Look at this artwork, first of all, beautiful. This is their second album from their, let's say, double release from around 2002, 2003, and this album is just amazing, really good as everything else they've released. Damnation is their first fully, let's say, non-death album, so very progressive, very soft. No song in here is heavy. It's just amazing album. Starts with Window Pain, In My Time of Need, Death Whispered a Lullaby, Closure, Hope Lives, To Read the Disease, Ending Credits, and Weakness. I think my favorite song would be Death Whispered a Lullaby or In My Time of Need. All the songs here are really good. Actually, this whole album is really good. Just go ahead, listen to it, you won't be disappointed. If you want to get into Opeth, but you're not really familiar with death metal and you're, I don't know, scared about this sort of music, I would recommend you to listen to this album. Or if you like progressive rock, I would recommend you to listen to my next album on the list, Heritage. Yeah, Heritage, I'm considering the special edition. First of all, artwork. This artwork is amazing, filled with symbolism and all. I find it really beautiful. This album is when they completely changed their sound. They abandoned the death metal sound and went a more 70s progressive rock direction, which honestly I'm gonna say I really like that they changed their sound. Their previous two albums, I think they were really stretching that death metal sound, and I think they were kind of losing it. So this change was very welcome. I really liked it. It starts with Heritage. This song I was saying that is similar to Silhouette. Both songs are just a piano. The difference that Heritage is very, let's say, a very melodic piano, very calming, very relaxed, and Silhouette is like a very hectic, anxious piano with sort of a distorted sound. It really reflects both sides of the band, the death metal evil sound and the prog happy progressive rock sound. Then we have The Devil's Orchid, might be my favorite song for this album. We have then I Feel the Dark, might be my favorite song for this album. Then we have Slither. Slither is, just think about what if Opeth made a normal rock song. Slither, that's it, Slither. Like 4 minutes, not death metal, inspired by a little bit inspired by progressive rock. It could have been released on any. I don't say this in a bad way, but Slither could have been in any generic rock band album out there, and it would fit perfectly. That's how I see the song. We have Nepenthe, Hex Process, Famine. Well, my favorite song on this album is between Famine and The Devil's Orchid. They're both good. Then The Lines in My Hand and Folklore. Then I believe there's 3 bonus songs on this album, or 2. I can't remember now, but then at the end we have Marrow of the Earth, and Pyre and Face in the Snow. So yeah, if you're a big fan of progressive rock, listen to this. I like it. Most people, from what I see, they really hate this album, even people who like progressive rock. So yeah, it's a bit sad, but well, listen to it. Give it a chance. Come on, give it a chance. It deserves it. It deserves it. So next up, we're gonna go to Sorceress. Well, I think this might be their album with the best artwork. Just, I mean, look at this, beautiful artwork. So Persephone, it has that progressive rock sound from Heritage, but it also has a classic heavy metal sound to it. Like, just think of heavy metal. You would think of Iron Maiden, Dio, just classic heavy metal. That's what I think about those 2 bands. Some other albums like Crusader by Saxon and such. So just think of very, very classic British heavy metal. This album, Sorceress, is a mixture of classic 70s progressive rock with 80s classic heavy metal. So just think about, what if Dio and Pink Floyd had a little child? This album is it. So it starts with Persephone, I think it's Persephone, Sorceress. This song and another one coming up are my both favorite songs from this release. Then we have the Wildflowers, Will O' the Wisp. Then we have Chrysalis, Sorceress 2, The Seventh Sojourn, Strange Brew, Fleeting Glance, and then Era. Era is my second favorite song from this album. Then we have Persephone, Slight Return, The Ward, and Spring. What year is this? MCMLXXIV. So MCM 1900s. L is 50, so 1950. XX 1960, 1970, and IV would be 4, so 1974. Yeah, 1974, basically. Spring 1974. That's the title of this last song. If my memory serves me right, this is a instrumental. So I think these 3 songs, Sorceress, Era, and Spring 1974, are my 3 favorite songs from this album. Really, really good songs. So yeah, if you wanna listen to something that sounds like Dio with Pink Floyd, listen to this one. Good album. Next up we have Ghost Reveries. Oh man. So as I said, their last two death metal albums, I think I really have that feeling that they were stretching the genre to its limit. First, this artwork is beautiful, might be one of their best ones. Really beautiful artwork, represents the music really well. The songs here, I sort of prefer Ghost of Perdition, The Bane of the Hounds, and Beneath the Mire a lot more than the latter songs: Atonement, Reverie, Harlequin Forest, Hours of Wealth, The Grand Conjuration, and Isolation Years. If you were to remove Ghost of Perdition, I just would not listen to this album at all. I just think Ghost of Perdition is such a good song and really sets the bar for the album. But everything else after it is just not as good as it. It's a really... My opinion from this album changed a lot. At first I thought it was like top 3, one of their best releases, but the more and more I listened to it, I sort of stopped liking it as much as I once did. So yeah, if you wanna listen to their 50-50 death metal and progressive rock album, this is it. Listen to this album, 50-50 both genres. So yeah, I would recommend this album for you. I don't have much else to talk about about it, so let's go to the next one, which is, man, the album that has grown in me the most, My Arms Your Hearse. My Arms Your Hearse is just... The first few times I listened to this, I really did not like it, but the more and more and more I listened to it, well, being completely opposite of Ghost Reveries, I just love this more and more the more times I listen to it. So it starts with prologue. It's a prologue. It has the sound of rain, which I think it's really beautiful. Whenever any song has sounds of raining and falling water. Then April Ethereal, man, this song starts so powerful. April Ethereal, then we have When, Madrigal, The Amen Corner, Demon of the Fall, Credence, Karma, and Epilogue. I'm gonna say my favorite songs would be April Ethereal, When, The Amen Corner, and Demon of the Fall. Those 4 songs, I really love them. This album, when you start listening to it and you listen more and more and pay attention to the many, let's say, melodies that are behind everything, and all the chords being played and all the instruments in the background that when you listen to the songs for the first time you didn't notice, but when you listen in subsequent let's say sections, or yeah, when you listen to the album in subsequent tries, just all those details, all those sounds, they come up and you really see the song in a completely different manner. At least that was my experience with it. When I first listened to it, it just sounded like a bunch of distorted guitars, and that was that. But the more I listened to it, I started to pick separate sounds and details, and then I noticed how much of a masterpiece this album is. So yeah, good album. Let's go to the next one, which is Pale Communion. Released in 2014. I think this is their best progressive rock album. It has some of their best songs as well. Eternal Rains Will Come, Cusp of Eternity, Moon Above, Sun Below, Elysian Woes, Goblin, River, Voice of Treason, and Faith in Others. All the songs, they're all amazingly good. You have no idea how much I love all the songs in this album. They're all just 10 out of 10. Good, beautiful songs. The artwork also, it represents the song literally. I didn't really search on the internet for the meaning behind all these 3 paintings, but from what I remember, they literally represent the lyrics from some songs. So yeah, really nice artwork as well. So Pale Communion, if you want to listen to their best prog album. This is it. Listen to it, you won't be disappointed. So let's go to my number 3, which is also the album, their heaviest album, Deliverance. Man, I love this album so much. It's so heavy. As I said, Watershed is their technical death metal album, but this one, Deliverance, it just delivers. It just delivers. The artwork is really beautiful. It's like in contrast with Damnation, which was the other album they released in 2002-2003, their double release. Well, the album starts with Reed. Man, Reed, sick song. Deliverance, beautiful, heavy, and beautiful at the same time. A Fair Judgment, also another really good song. For Absent Friends, nice, very short and good song. Master's Apprentices, and man. And then we have By the Painting and others. All the songs are just 10 out of 10. I love all of these songs, they're so good. And let's just get to the next album, which is Blackwater Park. Oh no, Blackwater Park is not number 1. What's your problem? Well, the album, this artwork is just beautiful. I'm considering the, I believe, remastered artwork. Look at it, beautiful. Then we have The Leper Affinity, Bleak Harvest, The Drapery Falls, Dirge for November, The Funeral Portrait, Patterns in the Ivy, Blackwater Park. Well, those are the 8 songs. I won't consider the live version for The Leper Affinity, which is present in the list I'm reading right now at Spotify. But man, this album has 8 amazing songs, so good. If you wanna listen, if you literally wanna listen to maybe the best progressive death metal album of all time, listen to this one. Now, I do intend on ranking the entire discography of Death. I want to listen to that whole band, to all the albums by that band again. So, my opinion might change whether Blackwater Park or The Sound of Perseverance is the best. Which one of those two is the best progressive death metal album? I think it's The Sound of Perseverance, actually. I just think The Sound of Perseverance will be my favorite one when I listen to it. I have, but I need to listen to it again to make the review and the ranking for the band. But yeah, listen to Blackwater Park and make up your mind which one you prefer, Blackwater Park or The Sound of Perseverance by Death. Which of those two albums do you think is the best progressive death metal album of all time? Leave it in the comments. So let's just get to my number 1, my favorite album from this band. It's the last album, the only album I haven't talked about, Morningrise. So why Morningrise? What's your problem? Wow, Morningrise just, man, it's perfect mixture of their early black metal from the first 2 albums and their progressive death metal sound. This album just, it is beautiful, it's amazing, it's so good. I really like this album. The songs Advent, The Night and the Silent Water, Nectar, Black Rose, Immortal, To Bid You Farewell, and the bonus demo track Eternal Soul Torture. I love all of these 6 songs, man, they're so beautiful, they're so good, I really love them. And my favorite Opeth song just is Black Rose Immortal. It just is the song, I really like this song, it's my favorite. And the artwork, I really like the artwork as well. So yeah, man, I love the atmosphere and the feeling this album gives you. It is really dark and progressive at the same time. I really like what they did in here. And another thing is that I find this album really in a sort of a way similar to the album Brave Murder Day by Catatonia, which will be an upcoming band I'm gonna reveal. So the next band I will rank, yeah, man, listen to this one. This album, I listened to this one more times than I listened to every other album by Opeth together. with the exception of My Arms Are Hearse. I listened to that album so many times, so with the exception of that one, I listened to this one the most. In between those two albums alone, yeah, I listened to Morningrise more times than My Arms. So amazing album, amazing band. That was my ranking of Opeth. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave in the comments your opinions on this band, your ranking, which album's your favorite. Just leave it down in the comment section. I will most definitely read, because I don't receive that many comments, so there's not much to read. Until the next video, see you then.